Now, Andrew's deck is, it looks to be exactly the list that we saw on the last match with Alex Benek. It looks like he's one sideboard card or maybe two different than Benek's version.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these decks, you know, when players come to, especially a tournament like the Invitational, they want to show up with really refined weapons, and especially when you have all these standard tournaments happening, you'll see, you know, consensus decks really start to develop. Speaking of consensus decks, how about Jund?
Well, I mean, I would say that it is the consensus best deck right now.
Yeah, taking a glance of what people are playing, what decks are winning right now, I would say Jund is by far the most popular deck at the tournament today. And the reason it's become a popular deck has been in no small part to the card that Andrew casts right there, which is Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze, one of the issues that Jund had was they had kind of a rough matchup against Unburial Rights decks. Scavenging Ooze has all but shored up that aspect of Jund.
So just a quick note, Andrew Tenjum here is playing a 74-card mirror to Alex Benek. They have one card different in their sideboard.
Well, I mean, that's a good place to want to be. Benek won, we saw he's now 2-0, won very handily last game. So it shows that it's really a powerful deck. In this situation, it looks like also Tenjum looks to be pretty far ahead on the board. He's behind in mana, which, as we saw last game, was really worrisome. But in this matchup, not so much, especially, you know, he has a Domri Rod with 6 counters and a really formidable board.
If we look at Andrew's side of the board, his Scavenging Ooze, now dead, traded with, I believe, another Scavenging Ooze?
Traded with the Beast Token
of Beast Token,
Primal Hunter. You maybe think that's kind of odd, because that's normally a trade you wouldn't want to make, but I think in this situation, Andrew's figuring that Prosak looks to be a little land-flooded, and because of the presence of Kessig Wolfrun, you know, that Scavenging Ooze will probably end up trading with whatever creature Prosak wants it to trade with. He can Wolfrun one of his blockers if he needs to. So Andrew's just happy to get a creature for it.
We see Adam lay his first life-gain creature from his hand, Huntmaster of the Fells. He also has a Thragtusk in hand.
Right, so the difficulty for Adam here is that he's going to...
and an Ooze of his own.
He can't let that Domri Rod make an emblem. It's so hard for Jund to win once that happens. So, you know, one thing that Adam can do is on his own turn, he can, I think what we'll probably see him do is on his own turn, he'll Wolfrun an attacker just to try to take down that Domri Rod. And also flip his Huntmaster. But then again, you know, if there's there's a well-timed kill spell, that may not be an option.
In the background, Jeff Hooglin playing at another feature match table, probably playing Rug Flash.
Yeah, I talked with Jeff Hooglin. Jeff Hooglin's actually on a update of the Black-Green Rock deck for this tournament. I know Jeff Hooglin, never someone to disappoint in having an interesting deck at any open.
Yeah, right over the left shoulder there of Andrew Tenjum.
Yeah.
Andrew looks to be having a very mana-heavy hand. I think...
Well, he's been stuck on 4. He just hit his 5th land in Stomping Ground. He looks like he has a replacement Domri Rod, an Absence Pilgrim, a Huntmaster of the Fowls, and I believe what I believe is a Zealous Conscripts in his hand.
Yeah, I could see the Mana Dork and land, and then the extraneous Domri. Speaking of extraneous Planeswalkers, these days, if you want to, you can lay that second Planeswalker of a type down, and it overwrites. Well, you can choose. You can choose which one you want. If you're not familiar with the new rules as of M14, the way Planeswalkers and Legends works is different now. Instead, where they used to just kind of explode and both die, now you choose which one do you want to keep.
What it looks like he's going to do here is play his Zealous Conscripts. One of my guesses is it looks like he might make Prosak's creatures fight each other. Because it depends whether or not he's trying to get that Domri up to 7. With Kessig Wolfrun, that's going to be really hard. So he might just see some value plays out of Andrew, and he might just go straight at Prosak's life total the traditional way instead of playing the, you know, can I make an emblem game.
Prosak makes his creature a little bit bigger, gains a life.
Yeah, and that's a really smart play by Prosak. What that means is that Tenjum can't make that Scavenging Ooze, and, you know, he can't clink it with the Huntmaster of the Fowls.
Now we're going to see, I believe Domri might have Boros Reckoner do the fighting. Maybe. He's thinking about it.
That seems pretty sweet.
He could clear the table.
Yeah,
he's
so
like, okay, table, then 3, 6, 9, 11, knock you to 2. It's pretty good.
11, yep, he can put him to 2, and then because Prosak would have a Scavenging Ooze left, he has to make sure he doesn't die here, because he's at 9 life. If he makes that play, I think actually Prosak does with a land have a lethal swing back with the Scavenging Ooze, so he's got to be a little more careful than that. But you're right, it is a really sweet play.
And so we see a double block pretty quickly on the Boros Reckoner. Andrew with no mana available, so he's not able to use the Reckoner's first strike to make this a profitable attack. Instead, he's just going to kill off one of those guys, do 1 damage to the other, and then he's got 3 damage to redirect to something, or 4 damage to redirect.
Yeah. Well, we might see the 4 damage. It could go to the dome.
He's thinking about his Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah, he's thinking about the Scavenging Ooze because I think he really doesn't want. What he can do here is now, if he kills the Scavenging Ooze, he can make the conscripts fight the wolf, and then Prosak will have no attackers. Remember, Andrew is at 9 life, and Prosak has a lot of mana and a Kessig Wolf run. And then look, so Tenjum's got to be careful. He's got to put himself in the situation where there's a lethal swing on the other side of the board.
And as you say, exactly, that leaves Prosak with nothing in play. However, Adam Prosak has in his hand a Thragtusk, and Andrew, without having a Boros Reckoner anymore, definitely is a little bit weaker than he was a moment ago to a Thragtusk.
Well, interestingly, what Adam also has is a Bonfire of the Damned right now.
Oh, wow.
And he doesn't have enough mana to cast it on X equals 3.
What he does, 3 damage going to the Domri, and the voice dies and replaces itself with an elemental. Andrew says, okay, here's my elemental. Let's see what's on top. Just moments ago, Andrew was threatening to have a 7-power Domri go ultimate, and now he's rebuilding. Adam Prosak at 7 life puts down 2 creatures, attacks with a 3/3, down to 4, but he's about to be up to 9.
Yeah, now, interestingly, what he doesn't know is that Prosak here has another Bonfire of the Damned, and I think the second one's going to be really hard for him to deal with.
He's got to be careful, though, too, because he's at 4 life.
Right. He's going to Bonfire for 3 again, and this time the 3 takes out Domri Rod, takes out all 3 creatures. Remember, a Bonfire for 1 would have been enough to take out the creatures, but Prosak did it for more because he wanted to be sure to hit that Domri Rod.
Okay. Land, is that what that is?
Well, we knew it wasn't a creature from last turn because Domri had checked the deck. I do believe he drew a land.
1, 2, 3 mana. There's got to be a spell in there somewhere. Oh yeah, the backup Domri.
The backup Domri. And he has
looks at the top.
Sacred Foundry, and there's no help in sight as the top card is not a creature. Andrew Tenjum may not have another way to get that last 4 damage across. And he's going to need one quick. And now it's not 4, it's 9, as Thragtusk gains Prosak back up to 9 life.
He's going to want a Thundermaw. I mean, he's going to draw whatever the heck's on top and then find a Thundermaw. That would be the best thing I think he could possibly draw right now.
Well, the biggest thing is that there's an 11-power Trample on the other side of the board attacking next turn. So he's going to need, if he has Searing Spear, I don't believe he even plays that. He's going to need maybe a Selesnya Charm. If he could draw that, that would be ideal
he
for him.
Found a Boros Reckoner. That's actually a great card in that situation.
Great, yeah. Boros Reckoner, one of the few cards that can keep him, that in theory can keep him alive here.
Presuming that Adam has no answers to it.
Right, I believe Adam Prosak has a Tragic Slip, which is actually just enough to make it so that the Boros Reckoner can't tangle with the Thragtusk.
Wow.
We'll see. But then again, there's still 1 card left in his hand. Prosak might not just go for that play. He draws Woodland.
Look at all that mana.
Yeah, and that's so scary with Kessig Wolfrun. Wolfrun really is the late game of the Jund deck. Despite the fact that it has a lot of really strong cards at every point in the game, its eventual late game is a lot of lands plus Kessig Wolfrun.
Adam gave it kind of a funny look. He casts a Farseek and looked up at his opponent like, is that okay?
Yeah.
And just this wry look of, yeah, that's more damage later. That's more damage. Andrew Tenjum in real trouble here. So many cards that Adam could put the game away with right now.
So I don't think he did have a Tragic Slip there. It doesn't look like it. And a really key draw for Tenjum there. He's looked like he's drawn Thundermaw Hellkite. Which he couldn't. Well, sorry. Yeah. No. He already had. Yeah, which he couldn't play last turn because he played
Thundermaw. This is here they come.
All right, together this should be the way Tenjum figures it. Well, it's not actually a lethal attack. Prosak is at 9.
That's lethal. That's lethal. 5 damage to the Boros Reckoner redirects to Adam's face.
Well, yeah, but what if Prosak just doesn't block?
Well, then he goes to 1, and then he makes them fight.
So right. So with the fight, this threatens. Yeah, this is a lot of damage already. And
Okay.
Prosak knows it.
Prosak just is basically like, maybe he'll first strike me. Maybe you'll first. Oh? Oh, he did do it. He did first strike.
He
Well,
does first strike them. Okay.
okay, well, that's okay. Adam's
Adam's
happy with that
Adams
one.
has an extra life
Take
here.
5, go to 4. And actually, though, he,
No,
I would need to
I
read
don't-
Domri. Can Domri make you fight yourself? Can you fight, like, dragon to
Target
Boros?
creature fights another creature.
I can't remember if it's another creature or if it's an opponent controls.
And in response, he's going to
tragic
tragic
slip.
slip in response to the fight. He's going to go ahead and slip the Boros Reckoner, and because he let that Thragtusk die, he now has lethal. On
Is
his
that
main deck.
it?
And that is it. Adam
Oh
Prosak, 2
my
games
God.
to 0, takes back that
Andrew
game.
had the win.
And I really like the timing on that tragic slip there.
Oh!